All right, we're back again with more thoroughbred horse racing coverage on the PlaybookSports.com Horse Report with Jon Hardoon, who covers the horse racing industry for the Ragozin Data Company. The Sheets, of course, Jon Sheets. So you can find him out there on his website. If you would like to order some of his picks, that's the way to go. We'll talk more about that in the coming weeks. But we have maybe another couple of shows to go before we turn to our premium packages. But Jon, coming off another good week last week, didn't we? We had a winner or two last week.
Well, we had chewing gum at I think.
Yeah,
14.
you hit the big one at
Yeah.
Which one was that?
Chewing gum.
Which race was that one? That was the sixth race.
That sprint race.
Yeah, that was the 1360 winner payout, beating the even money favorite Beer Can Man.
By a whisker.
And by the way, Beer Can Man was 5-2 on the show, went off to even money favorite. Chewing Gum was 5-1. What did he go off at?
About 5-1.
A little bit more than that, probably. Okay, yeah. But yeah, that was a nice one. And then look, I said it when I picked it, but Luck was one of the favorites. I don't like taking favorites very often, but sometimes you do, and Luck won the race, so you take the win.
Luck prevails.
It's better than losing. So we went 2 for 2 last week. How about that? We're on a nice run. I think it's been over a month now where we haven't had at least one winner between the two of us on this show, and we're going to hope to keep that going.
You want to jinx us? Thank you.
Yeah, I have to just, it's one way or another. Either that or I don't remind everybody. Okay, so Gulfstream and Santa Anita. Now, there's only two graded stakes races this weekend. We looked at both of them. It didn't work out. I think there were small fields. You had some heavy favorites. It just didn't work out. It wouldn't have been easy. It would have been pretty weak. We would have wasted our time. So we found two other races on the cards between Gulfstream and Santa Anita. We're going to go with starting at Gulfstream, and that's going to be race number 9. And that is going to be a race. Now, you know what? We don't really go over this too much because normally it's like, graded stakes race and the purse. And so let's go through this. Okay, so this is a 6 furlong optional claimer. What is this? Is that 12,500?
That's what it is.
1 times purse, 54,000 for state bred 4-year-olds and upward, which have never won a race other than a maiden, claiming, or starter, or which have never won 2 races or claiming price 12,500. So with all that being said, what's the key part of that might just tip us off as what kind of race this is?
Well, it's an optional claimer, which means that you could run in this race to be claimed or not. There's one horse eligible to be claimed in here, and that's the 3-horse Royal Squeeze. Everyone else falls under the protected category, and it's like an allowance race for them.
Okay. And considering that the purse is 54,000, that's okay, right? That's not bad.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. Okay. All right, let's start with the 1, Mish. And by the way, this is a dirt track. We're going to be doing Santa Anita, which is a turf race, a little bit later on. But this one is a dirt track, 6 furlongs, as I mentioned. Mish is going to be the first horse at 10-1. And this is a horse right off the bat that we both like. As a matter of fact, this is your top overall choice with Ortiz on board. Joseph Safi is taken over the trainer for his second race. If you look at the horse in the 2 races prior to Safi Joseph taking over, at Gulfstream, pretty much at this distance, ran a 13 and a 12. Those were the 2 best races back-to-back of Mish's career. But then the first race with Safi Joseph, that was just a throwout race. I'm not sure what happened there because that's the type of race that I'm just willing to ignore. 10-1. Throw in the fact that Ortiz takes over. I think this is a can't-miss play, and obviously you do too.
Yeah, well, what I really like about this horse is you certainly could forgive and forget the last race. It was the ship to Churchill Downs.
Okay.
The previous races were all at Gulfstream, and the key to this horse, he was trained by a trainer that is 0 for 52 going into that last race. And Safi Joseph, who hits at about 30%, took over the training. So you could expect this horse to run one of those big races tomorrow, and I think this horse is sitting on a big effort. I like this horse, and I like the 10-1. I like the Ortiz, and I like the Safi Joseph. He's got everything going for him. Looks like all systems go to me today. I don't believe he'll be 10-1. We're not the only people that see what what we
Yeah,
see.
and it's really an big added bonus that you're getting the trainer upgrade and now the first ride for a Rad Ortiz on this horse. And you would
Right.
have to think that it's like, hey, you know what? I got a good horse here. Let me now bring in the really good rider because I think we could win this race.
It could be, but regardless of how you want to read it, everything we said was right, and hopefully the horse performs and runs that 12 or 13 because I think that's all it's going to take to win this race.
Yeah, the horse has only 2 races on turf, and those were the 2 best races.
2 races on dirt.
On dirt, excuse me. 2 races on dirt, and that was the 13 and the 12.
Well, his last race was on dirt too, but only 2 races on dirt at Gulfstream. Let's put it
Yeah.
that way.
And that's the good combo we got going on here. Both of them at Gulfstream, both of them with 13 and 12. One was a win, one was a second, and now we even get the added plus with the rider and trainer upgrade. Okay, let's go with the 2 now. Handsome Prince. And I wanted to ask you about these 2 horses, the 2 and the 3. Now, these are long shots. I don't expect they're going to come in, but I noticed that both of them, things were going pretty well heading up until about July, August, September. We look at the sheets, matter of fact, the 3 Royal Squeeze made it up to an 11 in June. Handsome Prince made it up to a 12 in September. But then the last several races, they both laid eggs. How do you, when you take a look at the sheets, you take a look at how the horses' seasons have gone for both the 2 and the 3? Can you kind of pinpoint something where you go, I'm willing to forgive one of these 2 horses?
Yeah, there are situations when you could do that. However, this isn't one of them. Royal Squeeze is now a 10-year-old, so he had a license to start getting long in the tooth and go the wrong direction. So not only that, he was claimed last time out. I think it's a negative barn switch, so I could certainly not make a case for that horse. And as far as Handsome Prince is concerned, the 12 that he ran obviously affected him because he's gone south ever since. He's never moved forward off of that. And until he shows signs of life, I'm not interested in playing him. You have to a horse has to show you that he's starting to come back around, before you want to play him.
So if he hits like a 15 on Saturday, then we'll think about him next time out.
Exactly. But not only that, it's one, you can always excuse one bad race, but when it becomes 2 bad races, well, now it's becoming a habit.
The 4, there's nothing to talk about. This horse is too slow. Crammy boy. All right, the 5 is Amster Sand. This is a horse that we both like in our exotics. Gaffleone is going to be riding the horse for the first time, so there's an upgrade. Well, Saez was on board last time, but take a look at the sheets here. This is what you got to like, is the last 4 races, 18, 15, and then back-to-back 11s.
Yeah, the problem is the last 11, he had big trouble in that race, and he had trouble at the start as well, so you can excuse that bad effort. Still, that being said, I think he's probably going to react a little bit off the 11. And he's half the price of the 1. That's why I went to the 1 over him.
The 6 is going to be my top play, Do Wop Don. Saez on board for the first time, so that's an upgrade. This is a 4-year-old that's 10 for 10 at Gulfstream Park with 3 wins. Also 5 for 6 at this distance with 2 wins. I really like the sheet line because if you take a look at just the dirt races, he started with a 28 back in his first race in October of 2020. And ever since then, pretty much he's gotten better nearly every race. He's never gone backwards. And the last 2 races have been 13s. So I'm kind of feeling maybe I can get a 12 or an 11 here with Saez on board now for the first time.
Well, it's certainly possible. However, it may be a little bit too much too quick. He developed a lot in the last couple of months, in the last 2 months. What I will tell you a plus about this horse is obviously he's been popular in the claim box. He's been claimed 3 out of his last 4 starts. So that's positive. And now they're protecting him. He can't be claimed tomorrow. So that's a positive sign. He's 6-1 again. I'd rather bet the 1 at 10-1 than this horse at 6-1. I used him in my exactas also, but, I think he's more likely to go backwards and make a
So let me
forward
ask
move.
you, because it's possible. Well, let's say that the 1 ends up with a shorter price than the 6.
I probably would still bet
Okay.
the 1 because I don't think he'll be that much shorter than the 6. They may both be 5 to
Okay.
1. Obviously, if the 6 is 10 to 1 and the 1 is 3 to 1, yeah, I'll switch then, but that's not going to be the case.
So explain that, the claiming situation. So, all right, you come there and you claim the horse. All right, I've claimed the horse. That's now my horse. Why do you immediately let the horse be claimed again? How does that work? Or why does that work that
Well,
way?
you have to usually step them up, but in Florida, they let you run them for what you claimed them for. Usually, there's a 30-day jail period where you have to step them up at least 20%, like in New York or California. That's not the case at Gulfstream. So they figured, well, we paid 62.5 for him. Obviously, he has problems, otherwise they wouldn't run him back for 62.5. They figured they'll win the purse. For example, the purse tomorrow is 54,000. You know, and if they want to lose him, take him. I'll make 30,000, whatever, for the one start he had for me, and that's what they did.
The 7 is Raise the Rent. Now, this is one of the favorites of the race that you and I are putting into our exotics. Raise the Rent has only raced 4 times. Started out with an 18 actually, I can't even say now last August, but in 2020 in August. Came back with a 10 in his second race to start October of 2021. Then the inevitable bounce in race number 3 comes back strong with a 12 in December. I guess the only thing is the last race was less than 4 weeks away. So that's, the time is not ideal, but still, we can understand why this horse is 3 to 1.
Well, if he repeats the 12 or makes a forward move, he should be 3 to 1. However, it's a hard sheet to read. 10, 22, 12. Now what?
Yeah.
He's a lot more likely to react. You don't have a big enough history on this horse to read the sheet.
Yep.
But you do see 2 out of his last 3 races are fast. As the favorite, well, he's not the favorite. He's 3 to 1. So for that, I guess I would throw him in, but I'm throwing him in off the strength of the 1, not off the strength of the 7.
The 8 is another one of those favorites, and that's Twice Too Many, a 9 to 5 shot. Now, this horse, I was looking here at this last shot out was in December, about month ago, 3 weeks ago, ran a 9. The horse has never run a 9 before. The horse has never run an 11 before. So this is coming off a career top, and we're only talking about a 3-week layoff. So that's where the bounce factor comes in, doesn't it?
Yeah, and the fact that he's 9 to 5. If you're looking to make a case for the horse, there's a slight case you can make. The horse was claimed, and the new trainer got the 12 and the 9 out of him. So that's a positive. He claimed him, and then he freshened him up for 3 months, and he came back with 2 big races. But at 9 to 5 on a horse that is going backwards, you got to let him go backwards. He's going to react off that 9. He's not repeating it. So for that reason, and the fact that he's 9 to 5, I would try to beat him.
Yeah, because if we were able to get like 5 to 1, that's different. I can excuse the potential bounce coming. Yeah, but 9 to 5, that's a different story. And well, by the way, this horse has got 1 win in 10 starts. So,
by the way, with 6 seconds, so he's got a problem finding the winner's circle. He prefers, he may be a little bit of a hanger.
All right, and then the final horse in the field is Think About It, 8 to 1 shot. Matter of fact, I think the horse is called Think About It. And this horse is coming off some slow times. I don't see anything here besides a 14.
No, he's not good.
This is not 8 to 1 is not the number it should be, right?
No, should be higher.
Okay, so this is the first I was telling John after I got his picks on the email, and then sometimes I give my picks first, sometimes he gives me his picks first, and I noticed that for the very first time ever, we had the same 4 horses in our picks. Not the same order, but the same 4. So go with your order first, Sean.
I like the 1. I'm keying the 1. I'm putting them in exactas over the 5, 6, and 7, and I will reverse them small.
All right, and I'm going to go ahead with the 6 as my top choice, with the 1, 5, and 7 filling out my sheet, or my card, I should say. All right, now we go to the turf race at Santa Anita. This should go off about 5:30 on Saturday. By the way, that Gulfstream race goes off about 4:11 on Saturday. So about an hour and a half later comes this race at Santa Anita, 5.5 furlongs, turf race, $40,000 purse, 4-year-olds and up. And it says here, which have started for a claiming price of $25,000 or less in 2020 through 2022. Let's start with the one. Never Have I Ever. And this is this is a horse we both like. Matter of fact, this is my top choice. Coming off a 9 last time out, career high, got the win. Also had to win the race, inside. Matter of fact, this horse is always inside, so I think I feel a little bit more comfortable in a short race with this horse at the 1 position. I also like the fact that over the last 5 races, you have 2 10s and a 9.
Well, everything you're saying is true, but here's my problem. I've never heard of the trainer. I guess she's good, but she must, she gets good numbers out of this horse. But my biggest problem is this horse has been running 5 furlongs. Tomorrow, he's going 5.5 furlongs, so it's a longer race. Not only that, those races were all in Chicago at the old Arlington Park. Where has he been since August? That's my question.
No races at Santa Anita.
First time at Santa Anita is tomorrow.
The averages are pretty good over the horse's career. 8 wins out of 17 at the distance and 8 wins out of 18 on turf. So that's good. But yeah, like you said, no Santa Anita races.
He's done it at Arlington Park, running in optional claiming races. Can he win? Of course he could win. I'm using him, but I don't know. He would have to run his 9 or 10, and there's no guarantee that he will off the layoff. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, there's only one other horse that has run a 9 or an 8. 2 other horses that have run 9s or 8s, and this is one of them besides the one. All right, let's go. Actually, there's 3 of them, and this is the next one. Via Ignacia, a 7-2 shot. Now, I look at this horse, and I see over the last, 5 or 6 races, results-wise, I see 8th, 9th, 10th, and I see win-win 2nd. So I'm going, what in the world? I mean, you talk about inconsistency, hit or miss. That's via Incognatia. So sheets-wise, you throw out one. Well, you got an 18 and a 16 in there, but you also have an 8 in November of 2020. You have a 10 in October. You got an 11. You got a 12 and another 12. So I understand why the horse is 7-2. This is your top play. Why are you okay with all the inconsistency?
Well, he may be inconsistent on where he finishes, but his numbers are certainly consistent. 12, 10. The 18 that he ran 2 starts back was without Lasix, so I could certainly excuse that race.
That was at a mile and 16th as well.
And that was also at a distance. His sprint races were a 10, 2 starts back, and 11 last year. Last time out, he ran an 11. You could write a 10 in for this horse because that's what he's running. And, you say he's inconsistent. I disagree. I think he's pretty consistent. His only bad race this year was the race without Lasix. Back on Lasix last time, right away rebounded to the 11. He has time off. He's going to run the 10. And he's going to be very tough to beat in this spot.
Yeah, the one slow race that this horse has had at this distance or around this distance was the 16 in February. Other than that, all of the races at around 5.5 to 6.5 furlongs have been 10 to 12.
The 16 that he had earlier this year was a bounce off the 12. Not only that, something went amiss because after that race, he took off March, April, May, June, July, and August. So something happened to him in that race, which resulted in the layoff. Now he's running.
What do you attest to when you have a horse that was first coming down the stretch and he finishes 8th? Was there maybe he just ran out of gas? Was it the drugs? What was it? The lack of drugs?
It wasn't anything. He ran the number. He ran the 11. You're talking about his last race.
When he was first and then finished 8th.
He went so fast. He went 110 for 6 furlongs going a mile.
Going too fast.
Yeah, he went too fast too early, and he ran out of gas, exactly like you said.
All right, so the 2 is your top play in the field.
Yes,
The
sir.
3 is Foreman. Now I'm not going to play the horse, but I like the Sheets on turf. Excuse me, on dirt. 20, 16s, and then 14. So that's okay, even though three
No, that's not
16s.
okay. That's not okay because those races were over a year ago.
Yes, he hasn't
He's not
rushed. Well, I was just saying the Sheets were fine at the time. Yeah, but
okay.
yes, hasn't raced
Got a
since
few
March.
things wrong. First of all, he's never been on turf.
Never been on
Second
turf.
of all, he's been out for over or close to a year. He's been away from the races. And third of all, he goes from a big time trainer at Tampa, Gerald Bennett, who's the leading trainer there every year, to a guy that's not a leading trainer in California. So it's a negative barn switch. It's first time on grass, and it's first race in 10 months. That's too many strikes for me.
What's the thought process of a trainer you think that says I'm going to take a horse that was on dirt that seems to have been getting better on dirt every time out, and I'm going to switch him to turf?
Well, he does have some turf breeding,
Okay.
and they have an opportunity here to try. It's his first race back off of a layoff, so he's probably not squeezed to the max. Let's see what he's going to do on the grass and give him a race.
The 4 is a horse that's going to be in my exotics. Fly the Sky, a 10-1. Fly the Sky. The last let's see, 3 or 4 races on this turf surface. 14, 13, 11, heading in the right direction. I love the fact that Velasquez is on board. He's having a hot meet. Nobody's hotter right now than Velasquez. And I'm getting a horse at 10-1. That if I can get him into my exact, I have a decent payout.
Yeah, he's okay. He's definitely okay. I guess I should have used this horse. I didn't. I should have used him underneath. But at 10-1, he definitely belongs in your number somewhere.
Okay, the 5, Joe Don Looney, and this horse seems pretty slow. Joe Don Looney.
No shot, too slow.
The 6 is See Through It, a 5-1 shot. The only thing, well, a couple of things. First of all, on dirt, which is the horse's main surface, his last 2 races were 10s, so you like that. But the horse has only run on turf twice. The good thing about that is the first race on turf was a 19, the second time out was a 15, but that's still too far out at 5-1.
Yeah, I don't like this horse. First of all, he never puts races together. He usually bounces, and he's coming off of a big race last time out. I would play this horse to bounce today.
The 7, too slow. The Baby Gronk.
Yeah, no
Gronkowski
good.
was an interesting horse, but Baby Gronk is not getting the job done.
No, sir.
The 8 is Castle. Now, this is one of the short-priced horses in the field, a 9-year-old Castle, but coming off back-to-back 14s entering this race. What about Castle?
I don't know. I mean,
At 4-1, though, at back-to-back 14s, that's not good.
yeah, that's not good. I don't want to play this horse at a short price.
Yeah. And then the 9 is Barristan the Bold. The good thing about this horse is the one bad race at Del Mar in September. Other than that, on turf, 14-13, 14-12. So that's okay. Not bad. 12-1, not bad. But only 2 wins on turf in 21 lifetime, and he's never hit the money at Santa Anita.
No, I don't like this horse.
Now the 10 is going to be a horse that we're both going to have in our exotics. This is one of the better priced horses. Ian Glass, a 4-1 shot, very consistent. Maybe one of the more consistent horses in this race. Just take even this year, you're talking 9s, 12s, 13s, even last year 13, 10, 13. So that's good. You know you're going to get a good race out of Ian Glass.
Yeah, well, you're right. And what I like about this horse is John Sadler has a lot of horses, and he has a lot of good horses. He doesn't go in and claim horses. The fact that he dipped in and claimed this horse to me is a very positive sign. He trains nothing but really stakes horses to be, he trains Flight Line and everything else. And for him to dip in and claim a horse like this, to me, that's very positive. Not only that, he was claimed 4 out of the last 5 times he ran. He protects him now, which is a good sign. He's not in for a tag. So all those are positives, and for that reason, I'm using him as
All
well.
right.
I like 2 over the 1, 4, 10.
2 over the
3 or
1,
4.
the 4, and the 10, and I am going with the 1 over the 4 and the 10. John, what do we got next week? Oh, I wanted to ask you before I let you go. They got the Sunshine Millions. What is that all about?
That's a day. Well, they used to have horses shipped from California, and they would alternate years. California horses would ship to Florida. Florida horses would ship to California. Since they're both owned by the same Stronach Group, owns both Gulfstream and Santa Anita. So it was like an in-house competition. But now they just leave it all at Florida for the most part. Horses ship down from Santa Anita to Gulfstream for that day. And is that the day they're having the Pegasus race? I don't know if it is, but they have the World Pegasus race. They're going to be that's the richest race in this country. So let's see what happens.
Because I noticed there are like a lot of, like, I just used to think that it was like a 1-day thing, but like it says January 15th, next Saturday, it says Gulfstream Park Sunshine Millions Classic, then the Sunshine Millions Sprint. Then Santa Anita has something called the Sunshine Millions Philly.
All right, so then maybe they're doing it. Maybe they're doing half the races there, half the races in California.
And then the week after that, you got more Sunshine Millions. So it's not just a 1-day thing. So it
must be a series. Okay. It's probably a series.
Are those younger horses?
No, they're all ages.
Oh, okay, and those are good races. Nothing.
Yeah, they're stake races.
Okay. Well,
you either have to be bred in California or in Florida. I think there are some things that, some rules or something.
All right. Well, that's next week.
We play whatever cards they deal us, so don't worry about it. We're good.
We'll find something over the next, because we got to wait until the 29th before some really good graded stakes races come about. But we'll be here next week. John, appreciate it.
Stay safe. Be well. Talk to you soon.